everyone, so today's video is definitely dramatic. As you can see, the eyes are very intense, very bold, but I had to bust out the Chocolate Bonbons palette again by Too Faced. I absolutely love this. I have done a video on like a Valentine's Day look with this because this is like definitely Valentine's Day appropriate. Am I right? I mean, look at how cute this is with the hearts and the pink or whatever. Valentine's Day is long gone. But I definitely wanted to use this because I took this with me when I went on a trip to Savannah. I went to Savannah, Georgia for several days. I absolutely loved it. Fell in love with the whole town. Just the historic look of it and just the feel of it. The food was just excellent. So I took this with me, and this is all I had for shadows. And so I wanted to do another look using this Earl Grey color here because I have been staring at that color every time I open it. I can't help but be drawn to it. It's just such a gorgeous, deep navy with a subtle kind of grayish tone to it. It's not like a classic kind of royal blue. It's not like one of those like navies like the shirt that I'm wearing, which is what gave me the inspiration. This is sort of like a much deeper, more vibrant blue that I'm wearing. So this is definitely a little bit lighter, but still smoky, still dramatic, very pigmented. This palette is definitely everything to me. It's everything you could want, and it smells freaking amazing. So I like this look. It's pretty easy. I didn't do any false eyelashes today, although you could take this look to another level by adding the lashes. I think that would make it very dramatic, something for if you wear lashes every day or date night or just evening time. But I love it. I think it's easy. It's fresh. It's still smoky, but still very wearable for every day. It's not something completely out there that you couldn't recreate yourself at home with similar colors. Or if you have this palette, maybe I've given you an idea of how to use that Earl Grey. So if you want to see how to do the eyes, then stay tuned and I will show you how to do that. Alright, so I've already started by priming my lids. I use the Too Faced Shadow Insurance to prevent creasing because I am oily, so I do have to do that step. Then I'm going to take the matte color called Divinity. It is a matte cream color. And I'm going to be applying that all over the lid with a Morphe B84 brush, which is just kind of like an oversized shadow brush. And I'm going to be packing on this color just quickly over that primer and all the way up to the brow bone. Next, to start sort of defining the crease, I'm going to go in with a shade called Cashew Chew on a big, oversized, fluffy crease brush. And I'm going to go into my crease and then kind of go more on the upper crease area and blend that out towards my brow bone. Alright, so once I have that blended, I'm going to switch to a Morphe M441 brush. And I'm going to pick up the color Pecan Praline. And then I'm going to go into the crease with this, but slightly below that Cashew Chew color, just a little bit below that, just to kind of create some depth and dimension and also define my socket where my natural crease is. And we'll come back to the crease here in a moment. But I'm going to start working on the lid. So for the inner lid, I'm taking a Delium Tools 777 shadow brush. Looks like that with the shade called Satin Sheets. A beautiful color for the inner corner. This is going to go on to the inner lid and pretty much 3/4 of the way onto the lid. I'm going to leave this outer part right here bare with nothing on it. And I'm just going to pat this onto the lid. And with that same brush, I'm going to also take the same color and kind of come down into this inner pocket right in here just to kind of create some brightness as well and add a little bit of a shimmery kind of pop. It's a perfect inner corner highlight color. Now for the main star of the show, I'm going to take the color Earl Grey. It's a beautiful kind of deep navy color. It's just so pretty. It's got a bit of gray to it as well. So I'm going to be using a Real Techniques brush. I'm not really sure what this one is called, but this is what it looks like. It's got a bit of a point to it. It's synthetic, so it's going to help blend as well because of the way the brushes are cut and the type of bristles that are used to make this brush. So I'm going to take a little bit of that, actually a lot of that, onto my brush and tap off the excess. This one does have a little bit of fallout. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to start stamping this color down onto my actual outer V before I come up to the crease, because I want the most color to be right on this outer part. As you can see how intense that color is just by packing. And I'm going to kind of come in just shy of halfway, because that's just kind of what I'm going for today. If you don't want to, you can keep it more kind of defined on the actual outer V if that's what you prefer. But I'm going to kind of come in here and just sort of pat onto the lid first. And then using that point of the brush, I'm going to wedge that color into my crease and then just kind of go back and forth like so. Again, making sure that I don't come in too far. And as I'm doing this, I'm also picking up a little bit more and then tapping off the excess onto a napkin, just so that I don't have too much fallout on my actual under eye area. Now to soften the line where they meet, I'm taking the same brush that I used to apply satin sheets, and I'm going to kind of just swipe back and forth between both brushes, just kind of lightly pat it, and then kind of swipe to blend. Now I know this looks a little crazy. We have to kind of do some blending, and I'm going to switch to a very small, precise crease brush. This is the Morphe S12. It looks like this, very small. And I'm going to start by making sure that there's nothing on the brush. And I'm going to kind of come in here and circular motion, start softening out the edges. And just making sure that I'm not really pulling this color up too high or over too much into the inner part of the eye. So circular motions, window sweeping motions, until the line is soft. So once I've got that blended, as you can see, it blends out pretty easily. I'm going to also kind of just lightly come in a little bit further into my crease, barely touching my crease with this brush, because I don't want it to be too dark. I want most of the darkness to be on the outer corner. And then of course we have to kind of carry some of that color down to the lower lash line. I'm switching to another Real Techniques brush. This one is the Accent brush. Most of the names are rubbed off on mine, so unfortunately I don't know the names. I will try to have them listed down below or insert them onto the screen as I go. So I'm going to take that super tiny detail brush with Earl Grey again, and I'm going to kind of come under this lower lash line, connecting it from the outer part down. And it's going to be really intense, but we're going to work with it. And I'm going to go pretty much almost all the way in with that color. Then with a pencil brush, I'm using the Mikasa Beauty E310 brush. I'm going to soften this out because that's a little bit too harsh. And I'm also going to kind of pull that down just a bit. Alright, so now to continue the lower lash line, I'm going to switch to a Morphe B42 brush. It's very small, kind of like, it's like a bullet style, I believe it's what it's called. I'm going to take a mixture of pecan praline and cashew chew together, and I'm going to go underneath, and again blending some of this darker color out. And then I want a little bit of a kind of dusty rose, kind of mauve shade, so I'm going to bring Almond Truffle into the mix. And I'm going to tap off the excess and kind of come underneath as well with this. And if you need to, you can touch up the satin sheets or that inner corner highlight, because sometimes with blending you can lose some intensity there. Now to kind of bring in a little bit of that mauve tone, I'm going to go back to my original crease brush, the one that I used for my transition shade. I'm going to wipe it off really well, and I'm going to bring in Almond Truffle, that dusty rose mauve shade. I love this color, it's so pretty. I'm going to go right around the edges of everything that I've done, just to kind of create a bit of a kind of mauve rosy glow. Then with the same shadow brush, I'm picking up more of that Divinity, and I'm going to kind of go around the edges to soften everything a little bit, so it's not a little, you know, looking a little harsh there. And I love this color, and you can also use that, since I'm pretty fair, I can use Divinity to clean up any of my mistakes on this outer part as well. Now I want to kind of touch up that Earl Grey, so what I'm going to do is go back to that shadow brush and just kind of stamp it right on this outer corner. Then I'm going to wipe off the brush and then just sort of go over it again with stamping motions just to kind of blend and then distribute that color without pulling it up to the crease. Alright, now for some liner. What I wanted to do first is tight line. I'm going to use a black liner. The Modster liner by Ardency. It's my go-to for tight lining because it doesn't transfer or smudge. And then I wanted to add a pop of blue just because blue is so brightening for the eyes. And I'm using a Maybelline liner. This is the Master Drama by Eyestudio in Navy Knockout. I'm not even sure if they make this anymore, but just any navy if you're going to use colors like this. And I'm going to run that into the waterline, the lower lash line. And then I'm also going to take some of that on the upper lash line. I just like how it does something a little special and it's different than your classic black. Alright, and then of course mascara. I'm going to use the Rocket Volume by Maybelline. My go-to, my favorite. Love it. Alright, so for the rest of the face, I will have everything listed down below. But quickly for my blush, I'm using the Wet n Wild blush in Mellow Wine. This is actually my first time using it. I've never really used any of the Wet n Wild blushes before, so this is a new and improved formula according to the little sticker, but it's a pretty wine shade, I suppose by the name, Mellow Wine. That's what it is, a wine shade. My highlight is Lou-Manizer because that's my favorite. It's my go-to. Mary Lou can do no wrong. And for my lips, all I have done on my lips today is take the NYX Lip Liner in the shade Mauve. I've overdrawn my lips just a little bit. I've filled them in and that's all I'm wearing. And a little bit of the highlight on my Cupid's bow. But I sort of like this because this is actually pretty comfortable to wear. And it gives me that sort of matte look without having to wear a liquid lipstick that dries to a matte formula that to me just makes my lips feel really dry and very uncomfortable. So this is all I have. It's a beautiful shade. I love it. It's a deeper kind of mauve-y, nudish mauve color. I feel like it can go with a lot of different looks. That's why I chose to wear it today with this sort of like bluish eye look. That is everything that I used. I hope that you guys enjoyed this. I had fun filming this video. I love this look. I think that this is just, it's so easy, yet it's smoky and it's not super dramatic, but definitely there. And you can see it and it's pretty. It's using some tones that I normally wouldn't use day to day. I like more of like the browns, tans, and sort of like warmer tones. So I do like this sort of blue, and I guess I have to thank my shirt. And you can probably can't see it, but it's like a dark navy blue shirt for giving me the inspiration today. So thank you guys so much for being here with me for this video. I hope that you enjoyed it. If you did, please thumbs up the video, like, share with your friends and family. Also hit that subscribe button if you haven't. And you can also follow me off camera if you'd like to on Instagram, Twitter, and Snapchat. It's all down in the description box listed with everything else that I used in today's tutorial for you. So I will see you very soon. Bye!